Hello everyone, welcome to the editorial of Problem C, Mortal Kombat Tower, Educational Codeforces round 95, rated for Division 2, but it has become unrated due to some circumstances in the problem A. It's quite unfortunate that this happened, but it's a good chance for you to practice these questions and learn so that you can increase your rating in your next round. So this is an editorial of Problem C. So in this, you have a friend and there are n bosses in the tower. They are labeled 1 to n. A boss is easy if its AI is 0 and a boss is hard if its type is AI equals 1. During one session, either your friend can kill one or two bosses and you can also kill one or two bosses, but you cannot skip the session. So the minimum number of bosses killed during one session is at least 1. After your friend's session, your session begins. Then again, so it is a chance by chance round type problem. Next, your friend can kill a hard boss, but he has to use a skip point. So your task is to create an algorithm that devises the minimum number of skip points your friend would need so that you and your friend can kill all n bosses in the given order. And you are given an array A and its size. So the test cases are 2 into 10 raised to 4 and n is 2 into 10 raised to 5. So this is the number of bosses and the second line contains the integers a1 to an. So this problem is very easy. See, suppose we have ai plus 1, sorry, let us label this a0, a1, a2, a3, a4, a5, a6, dot 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 till an. Your task is sub to minimize the value of skip points, right? Skip points. So what should we do? It's quite an intuitive question. Just do what the question says. So your friend has the first chance. So he has to take out a0, whatever be a0, 1 or 0. If the values of a0 is 1, then we increase the skip point. And if the value of a0 is 0, then we have to reduce the skip point. Like it is maintained at 0. No increase in the skip point. Then your friend has the option of either killing the boss a1 or leaving the boss a1. So we can create a function. My code has a function night, so we can create a function night, and this function will take in the array a parameter that I will disclose later, not needed now, and a value I and a turn. Okay, so the friend turn is 0 and for us the turn is 1. Okay, so what do we do in this night function is basically, if it's the friend's turn, okay, I will explain to you. The concept used is dynamic programming. I wanted to save it for the end, but I guess to explain the code you need dynamic programming, because otherwise I will need to explain to you twice, which is a burden. Let me explain to you easily and slowly. So the concept we used is dynamic programming. You must be familiar with dynamic programming, otherwise you can request in the comment section and I will upload a video on dynamic programming for you. So we call this at dp array of dp. What is dp? dp is an array of 2 and 2 into 10 raised to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why so? The constraint is 2 into 10 raised to 5. So that plus 5. Okay. So this is the dp. What does dp store? dp of ij stores the value that if it is the ith person's turn, and we are in AJ, then it is the minimum number of skip points required for the array J to N. So, sorry, this is will be n minus 1 for array J to n minus 1. So we store this in DP. So the rest is simple. Suppose if it is the friend's turn, then the cases he has are, if the current value is 1, then 1 skip point is required, plus either he can choose to do this or he can choose to skip this. Like either he can choose to kill this boss or either he can stop. So if he chooses to kill this boss, then so it will be minimum of, if let us say it's value of a1 plus dp of, if it is friend's turn, okay, so if it is friend's turn, so dp of 1 I plus 2 comma dp of friend us turn I plus 1. Similarly, if it is us turn, then it is minimum of, because here we don't have to use any of the skip points, so it will be directly minimum of dp of 0 I plus 1 comma dp of, sorry for the bad handwriting, 0 I plus 2, and whatever is this value we store it in dp of 0 I is equal to this dp of 1 I is equal to this. Now what else we have to consider? Nothing else. We are understood the solution almost, like we've got a rough idea that we need to use dynamic programming and a general intuition of how the machine goes. So I will explain it to you the rest via the code. So let us look at the code. So this is my code. So we will look at the function night later. First let us look at the main function. So we take a log int t, we put the number of test cases, then we do a cn. Cn is declared as a global variable log int n. Then what do we do? So then we declare an iteration variable I, we declare a variable r of n, and we declare a dynamic programming 2 of 10 raised to power 5. Then we input the test cases in r of I, and we set dp of 0 I to minus 1 because it is not initialized as of now, and n plus 1 n plus 2 n plus 3 n plus 4 to 0 because every j which is greater than n minus 1, that means there is no boss after that, so the skip points to be used would be 0 whoever turns it is. Initially we initialize the turn to 1, it is not required. I commented this code earlier. I was trying to do it without dynamic programming in a for loop. We initialize skip point to 0 and then we use skip point to call night with our array with our dp with the initial I 0 and with the initial turn of the friend is 0. I guess I have used 1, no, I've used 0 here for the friend, so yeah, it's the same. Now we use night, it takes an integer r, it takes a dp of 2 and 2 into 10 raised to power 5, then it takes an integer I, and then it takes a turn. If I is greater than or equal to n, then we just return 0 because no bosses are left. If turn is equal to 0, that means this function till here is if it's the friend's turn. So if dp of 0 that is its friend's turn and at the ith is not initialized, is not equal to -1. That means it is initialized and it has a value. Then this is the answer, we return it. Otherwise we set current to 0, and if the current I is 1, then we do a current plus plus, because then we have to use one skip point because we can't skip a boss. We have to have at least kill one boss. So next we do a second variable initialization, and it's because if the next boss after this I, like we have not reached the end of the array and this they a hard boss, then if the friend has to kill it, he has to use a skip point. So we initialize second plus plus, that is second equals 1. Now we initialize two variables, long int a b, and for each a value is for a value is if it is the friend's turn and I plus 1, that means our friend just kills one boss, and dp of 1 comma I plus 2 if the friend kills both bosses. So if the friend kills just one boss, it is the value for one boss plus dp of 1 of I plus 1, and if the friend kills both bosses, then it is current plus sec plus dp of 1 comma I plus 2. If these are not initialized, then we first initialize them by calling a repetitive recursive function on this, and then we set this, and then we again check if dp of 0 comma I is initialized. If it is initialized, we return it, and otherwise we set it to minimum of a or b, that is minimum of the value it kills one boss or two bosses, and then we return that value. If it is odd chance, it is pretty simple because we don't use any skip points, so it is just the minimum of we kill one boss or we kill two bosses. So this is pretty much the whole explanation. In the end, we just need to print the skip points. I will attach the code for you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you liked it, and if you have any doubts, requests or any problems, you can post them in the comment section. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more upcoming videos and tutorials. Thank you very much.